I just tell my story. I write the things that only I can say. Nobody else can tell the stories that I tell because they true to me. They true to where I come from and the people I grew up around. So it's only a story that can be written by Joseph.
Yeah, let's get to it. I say a prayer and I get to it. If it's a problem, we get to it. Never know hating, we get to it. I took an L, had to get to it. I overcame what I've been through. If it's a problem, we get to it. Never know hating, we get to it. Let's get to it.
Joseph Live, I'm here with, let's do another great introduction. I gotta tell him, y'all, I butchered the sound. I didn't turn the mic on, so we are re-recording this episode.
First take. I wasn't even really in the room when we did it. I was somewhere else.
Yeah, we did like an hour 15 and nothing. So here we are, Joseph Live. I'm here with one of my closest friends. Just a phenomenal husband, father.
You gotta ask my wife about that.
Yeah, we might need to check him now. But just a phenomenal human being. My brother, my friend, Jonathan Martz. What's going on, man?
Thank you. Thanks for that introduction.
Yeah, thank you.
And all those things I could say about you as well, my friend.
Come on, brother. Jonathan's. With the Jonathans.
A gift from God.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
There we go, man.
So.
Yeah. So I want to start off with the first thing. I want to start off with a memory I was thinking about. And we didn't touch on it in our unrecorded conversation. But do you remember our road trip to Dallas?
Yes, I remember it.
Do you remember McAllister?
Maybe.
You don't remember what happened when we hit McAllister, Oklahoma?
What happened?
We get pulled over.
Yes. Here's the deal. We had a couple road trips to Texas.
We did.
So this one was, I absolutely remember that. And I remember getting pulled over. And something about license plates. He checked our entire car.
Who was driving?
Were you driving?
No, I was not driving.
I was driving? Okay.
You were driving.
Yeah.
And McAllister is a speed trap of a city.
Seriously.
You're in it for 3 miles.
Yeah.
And police just sit in a hidden spot. And they got us. Mind you, we were about to stop because I had to pee so bad.
Yes, I do remember that.
You remember?
I do remember that.
And we get pulled. I'm like, oh my God. I'm about to literally pee my pants, like right here in this Nissan Altima.
Yes.
And the police officer gets out of his car. And what does do you remember what he does?
Well, I do remember he has both of us come out of the car. And I remember him patting you down. He doesn't pat me down. He has you stay outside. He's like, I need to check the vehicle. Checks everything in the vehicle. He's like, what is this stuff? And it was video. Like, it was literally video equipment. Yeah. Hey, we're going to you're doing a podcast. You're doing a video. You're doing a few other things all in Dallas. And he just, like, doesn't believe us. And then he puts me in the back of the car. and literally is like, trying to get me to rat you out. He's like, hey, you guys, like, does he have any drugs on him or anything? I'm like, no. Like, what? Like, what are we? Like, it was, dude. I remember being so furious after that,
you were pissed.
And not for me, for you, because there was. I mean, it was just unjust in so many different ways. And you think Oklahoma, obviously that was probably my first taste of some of that unjustness going on, and clearly it was directed toward you. And man, it's messed up.
It was crazy. It was at the point where it's like 2017-ish, so everything stuff was happening, all of the police brutality things, all of those, the social unrest was happening. But you get to a point where you become numb, right? Like, stuff like that's been happening to me since I was 14. My only focus was, I just need to go to the bathroom. Yeah. I didn't care about anything. I was not mad. I was like, this is business as usual, being black in America. I just need to pee. Because I knew, nothing's going to happen. Like, there's nothing in the car. There's nobody got a warrant here. Nothing's going to happen.
Man, but you never know. Sometimes people are on a power trip. You know,
Yeah,
if somebody wants to find something, maybe they can. You know, that's just
true too. Yeah, that's true
the scary
too.
part about some of that stuff.
Yeah, but I just was like, dude, I just gotta go pee, bro.
I do remember.
I just gotta go pee. He can do whatever he wants.
That. Yeah,
I just have to pee, bro. But no, that's a super funny memory, man. And I feel like we made so many phenomenal memories over the years. One of my favorites, which we've talked about before, but when we first met, that'll forever be one of my favorite memories because I did not expect you to be like what you were. It was I just didn't expect Vans with holes in them and no socks.
Man, that's called Vandals. It's Van sandals.
Right.
It's a look. You gotta Google it, but it's
The crazy thing is, like, maybe not 2 years after that, here I am. I had Vans with no socks on.
Come on.
Like, after
yeah,
that,
converting you.
just
I like
following
it.
up, bro. So my question is, what do you remember about the first time, like, we met, our first interactions? Like, what do you remember about those moments?
Yeah, well, it would have been, like 2012.
Yep.
In college, I was going into my junior year, and I was managing our studio at our college, and we had a version of a talent show. EU's Got Talent. So it's kind of like America's Got Talent. So there's all these different acts. You had actually made it to the finals, and I remember having this marketing class, and everyone's marketing all these different things. Some are marketing like their dad's company, you know, some are marketing like these big brands, and they're going to try to get a job from it. And I remember thinking, I want to market a person. Mm-hmm. So I want to market a person, I want to market an artist, something like that. Something that I believe in, right? And so I remember you performing at this EU's Got Talent, and I don't even really remember the song necessarily, but I remember the way that you commanded a crowd. And you commanded like thousands of people, and it was of all like very different backgrounds, right? So like, you're coming from when you go like a private school, and a lot of people are there for a lot of different reasons, and the way that you were getting them to move and all kind of come together for this moment, for the song, I remember thinking, like, whatever that it factor is, you got it. And so I was like, if this guy would let me, like, market him, like, that would be it. So, and I don't remember this. You said that I sent an email.
I don't even know. It had to be an email because you didn't have my number.
That's true, which is so formal of me. I just, like, wouldn't have done that now. I'm not a big email guy. But, and then I just remember, like, what we linked up, and we were so different, right? We had such different skills, such different backgrounds. Just like you playing basketball, I'm in the pep band. You're from South Texas, right? And I'm from suburban kid, right? You know, he's never had a problem in his life, type of deal. And I remember us like connecting together. You were married, right? And, like, all these things are, we were so different, but later found out we were cut from the same cloth.
Same cloth.
So.
Yeah, no, it's funny because when you say you were looking for a person to market, I had no clue. I never heard you say all these years. I never knew you were actually like. So when I remember after we first met and we started, vibing and talking and meeting, and I was like, man, I would love this dude to like be my manager, and like we work together and partner up. And I just remember like praying as I'm writing out this long text message, like, God, please just. Is this who you sent for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being extra dramatic about it, you know me. And when I sent it, I was just like, God, please. And then you were just like, it's like 3 words in a typical you fashion text message, like, absolutely, I'm down. I'm like,
it's like the text you send to the girl, and I sent it. I'm setting down the phone.
That's literally what it was.
I remember getting the text, and I'm like, I'm so excited because. One, I didn't really have any necessarily marketable skills to help you. At the same time, I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this a win. So I was very excited whenever we linked up. And I just thought we do come from such different backgrounds. So I don't know how this is going to form together. It could be like water and oil, or it could mesh together so well that's like we just complement each other's strengths. And I'm glad it was the latter.
Nah, it was, man. And I look back at those times, and I always say this. I always credit you well, let me just take it back. So when people see me perform and they see like the content and they see all of those things and how polished it is, a lot of people are like, oh, he's not signed. Oh, he's not this. He's not like what the presentation is. It's packaged and it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's well thought out, all of those things. And all of those I attribute to you because you taught me how to work in excellence and to not just throw stuff out, but it had to be of, you know, the highest quality. Like we don't, you know, we come from, especially in the South, we come from like mixtapes and it's quantity. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of quantity. Like, hey, just keep putting it out. Like it's the quality was never like a big thing for us. And so getting with you and just seeing how like, no, bro, we can't do it like that. Here's how we need to do it. It needs to look like this. It needs to be presented this way. Like you should perform like this and hit like bro. And it was like those things taught me how to be excellent in the work. And I love that. But where did you get, you know, just that background, that understanding of like production and how to put things together in that way in like such a high quality?
Wow, you always had it. So it wasn't anything. I don't think it was anything new for you. Mm-hmm. I think what you were so good at is presenting kind of a vision of here's what I want, here's what I'm looking for, here's ultimately what I want to say, how I want to say it, and this is how I envision it looking. So as soon as you gave me that, one of my strengths is probably taking something good and just making it great, right?
For sure.
So you already had such good stuff presented. And then it was, okay, this is the look, then here's how we should shoot the video. Here's who should shoot the video. Here's how we, here's the places we should shoot it at. Here's the, and then when it comes to the music was really all you, right? So, but the live sound performance one was the stuff I was passionate about was any type of live performance. So even our very first show, right, where we were looking around like, hey, here, you told me this is what I want to accomplish. This is what we should do. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I love it. There wasn't a venue in town that made sense for us. Right. There were lame music halls at our campus that were like, this just seems too formal. Yeah. And then we had other places, were bars downtown that were like, no one's there for the music. They're there to drink, right?
Absolutely hammered.
So they might hop up on stage and grab your mic.
No,
for real. Yeah. So I remember us just being like, our only option then is we got to throw a show, our own show. And I remember that very first thing you found. I don't even know how you found a. You found a basement.
To this day, I do not. I think I was just like Facebook looking like you just go in that deep dive search, bro. Like. But we should have never.
I don't even know if this was the legit name, but there was a guy who was like, "Yeah, it's the Boogie Down Basement," and I'd never heard of it. It was all concrete.
I don't even know if he had keys to
I think he was squatting in that basement. But we went down there, and I was like, "Yeah, this could hold 100 people." Yeah, so I'm like, "Let's do this." Yeah. And I remember borrowing all the gear from our studio. And so, thousands of dollars of speakers, thousands of dollars of, for our console, for all the mics were, it's just, I remember taking that out and we did a practice on a Thursday. I didn't even know how to hook it all up really. So I'm like, I'm going to need hours to like figure this all out. And we got it all hooked up. Everything worked. We ran the practice on Thursday. And then, Thursday night was like the scariest moment of my life where I'm leaving thousands of dollars of gear from this, from my, the college that I'm so anxious, still paying for, that I'm trying to like figure out like, oh man. And even with that show, we passed out flyers on campus. No one knew where the Boogie Down Basement was, but we were like, here's the directions, and here's it. People showed up. It was
still
awesome.
Have that flyer.
Yeah, dude. And I remember the show too. We had a sound guy lined up. We had a DJ lined up. Both of them bailed. Yep. I ended up running sound. You found another DJ like last minute. Yeah. And dude, the performance was amazing. It was like it was everything I could have hoped it was. I remember us. I think we charged like $5 a head. I don't remember what it was.
It might have been like $5.
We walked out of there, and I remember us like after the rental, and all of a sudden like we made like $8, and we were like, "This was awesome." We killed. Yeah, like that was the best part. Yeah. So then from then on, we're like, we're only throwing our own shows. Yeah. Like we can do this, and it just got better and better and better. And you were so great at building teams, building ideas, building a vision, and people started coming along.
Bro, we really, I look back at that time and we really, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I wish like everybody would have just stayed like
Yeah.
together. But it's so hard for a big group because it was. I think that one show we did at the Modern Society when we first started having a band, like the biggest we had was like an 8-9 piece band.
It was incredible.
And it was absolutely,
It was
we had
wild.
saxophone, guitar, drums, 2 vocalists,
Bass,
like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
bass,
Yeah.
it was keys, like violin,
Yeah.
like it was insane. And what we were doing was so different and organic. And I look back and I look at everybody that was involved and how the things that we were doing, and it was so crazy, bro. It was like they trusted my vision creatively, but then they also trusted your vision as far as execution. And it was like people call me, ask, hey, can never mind, I'm gonna just call Martz. Okay, cool. Like, and that was such a cool thing because I look at what the people who are a part of those are doing now, like with Ant and the thing, like, bro, she was singing with Maverick City Worship, bro. Like, she didn't want to put out her own stuff, like, but it was like we helped give her that courage. The incredible things that CJ is doing up there,
yeah.
like playing, and just all these people like platform, like, where Pete is, like what the things he's doing with James River, like Pete was like low key flying under the radar until we started.
Yeah, I didn't even know he played drums.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
He was just flying under the radar until we started doing
Unbelievable.
stuff, and we're in the square, we're at these different
Yeah.
things, and people are like, oh my God, who is that guy? Like, that's so cool that we were able to do that and build that together. And you said something like there was never no egos, and you were always able to give heart, which is like I think that's a talent. Like, because I really struggle with being able to give people hard critiques because I care about people's feelings so much. I'm an empath. That's just like I care so much. So either it's gonna come
You
off
saying I don't
like,
care about people's feelings?
no, it's
No,
not
okay,
that.
okay.
But that's like, bro, I don't know if that was a love language. Like, you are like masterful in it, because you would critique me and give me these like, stern type of like, hey, nah, bro, not this, like this, and I would listen, and it always worked, bro. Like, so where, like, creatively, where did you get, like, what were the things you were doing when you were young to acquire all of these different skills, bro? Because you are a musician. You can work a board. You can, like, do lights. You can do cameras. Like, where did all of that come from?
Yeah, I think a couple different things. One is both of us just had this open hands when we approach this, like, vision, right? To believe, create, inspire. We want people to, like, we want other people to be impacted by that mission.
Sure.
And so when it came to that, both of us were so open handed. We're like, does we look through the lens of the mission? Does it match the mission? And that's why we were both able to take that feedback from each other, because we knew too, we're both looking for the best solution. Yeah. So if we don't have a better solution, then we're going to do this. But if we have a better solution, then let's do it. So we came across better sound people than me. Great, they're going to run sound.
Which let me say that even in that, like, you mentored him though.
Yeah, and then he far exceeds me. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. That's
so,
the thing I'm saying is, like, you're able to do that with so many other people. Like, yeah, he's a prodigy.
Well, you find special people who want to do special things, and both of us. I thought, like, I thought you were special, right? You thought I was special in some sort of way, right?
Sure.
And we probably didn't see ourselves as that,
right?
And so even one of my values, like, if I think about my mission, why I'm here on Earth, is maximize the value of people. To show people the value that they already have, and then say, dude, go run in that. So it's to call out the things that I see in you that you're like, I think was there, but I'm not 100% sure. Mm-hmm. So, and just the way you perform, the way you commanded things, the way you created a vision, the way you built a team was incredible to be a part of. And I think overall, I didn't know how to be a manager. Right, so I was just trying to figure that. I'm a college kid, and
right.
We're both figuring it out too.
But
But that's the thing. We're like, hey, we're willing to do whatever it takes to make this thing work, which is what works in a marriage, that works in a it's like in so many different relationships in life. It's just saying we want the best product possible. Your ego's not your amigo, so we're just gonna and we're just gonna move forward. And that led to a lot of great things. We found better videographers. We found better musicians that came around as well, right? Because we had shows where a drummer backed out last minute. We had a bad drummer. That's never happened again, right? And so you
lemon drop at the lemon drop. Oh dude. Oh my God!
You grow as you evolve. We had DJs that were, like, unreliable, and it's like, okay, no, now we're moving into a new realm, right? Yeah. So we just keep transcending and including. So as we were building these teams, it was never perfect.
No.
But you just kept growing, you kept learning something new in the process, and a lot of things you learn is out of necessity. Yeah. So if you are like, hey, our Springfield, Missouri doesn't have a great hip hop scene, you could be like, oh, that's lame, whatever.
And that's what people were doing.
Or we could be like, let's build one.
Yep.
And that's always been this is what I love, is the punk rock version of us. It's just like, oh, it's not here? Well, then let's be the ones to start it. There's not a record label that wants to sign us. Let's start our own label. Yeah. There's not and it's just, you take the next blow as you go. And that's the thing. Obstacles aren't in the way. They are the way. And you just move forward with it. Whoa. So it's a great book, by the way. But you just take the punches and you go with it. And that's where you find a better web designer. That's where you find a better videographer. You just keep leveling up, and you get people to buy into a mission that's bigger than you. It's not just like, hey, can you help me? It's, do you want other people to be impacted and transformed by this music, by these lyrics, by this mission? Then hop on and let's do something special.
Bro, that's so powerful. That's beyond powerful. And that's another level of humility, right? Because you have been around so many talented guys. Like, I think about, when I think about Jaren and the things that he's been able to do, like, I just remember those moments. Jaren is phenomenal. And I remember those moments of, like, him being around and, like, watching how he leaned on you, and you allowed him to lean on you, and you were pouring into him the same way you were pouring into me, the same way you were pouring into Tristan. And that takes a lot of humility and, like you said, no ego.
And I think it started with you saying, let's build something cool in Springfield, Missouri. Right? Like, because all of us, I had the same thought. I'm like, I'm going to go out to Seattle and do this.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm going to go back to Texas and do this.
Right.
And we ultimately came to a point where it's like, this town doesn't have what we want. Let's build it. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. There's not a great comedy scene in Springfield, Missouri, right. But Jaren is going to help create that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's not a great... Honestly, no one's running audio on tour here in Springfield, Missouri, but Tristan is like, I'm going to get all the skills I need right here, and then I'm going to go, run with some tour. So some amazing stuff all started here with a group of people. Mm-hmm. I mean, even thinking Pierre that got to play with you, now he's out in LA, and so now we got, which is cool, is we all started in this little pocket. We built something beautiful. Now we've got a network of people that have not left, but multiplied to a new area. And so it's very cool.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. So you said something like your mission in life. I love that, because I was going to ask you, you talked about what our mission was: believe, create, inspire at the time. I've really done some soul searching as I've been in this season of music, as I've been making this project, Joseph. And I realized over time, I got hyper focused on making it, or what making it looked like, that I lost sight of the vision. And so I had to go inward and say, what do I treasure? Like, is my offering pleasing to God right here, right now? Mm-hmm. Is this the thing that, like, God would be proud of me for using my gift for? Yeah. Or is this a waste? Like, is this the thing that I treasure more than I treasure God and multiplying and pouring out my gift, right? So I had to go back and I said, I need to redefine the mission. I have my life pillars, but I need to redefine the mission. And what I came out with was reflect, reach, and restore. Reflect the glory of God in everything you do. Reach people for God and restore people to God. That was what I came away with. So, and you mentioned yours, like what happened in your life for you to get to that mission statement for yourself?
Yeah, I think, one, I've always been great at supporting other people's mission. So I've always felt that way, but I've never really felt like I had something of my own. And I do remember someone telling me, like, vision starts when something breaks your heart. And it moves you from someone should do that to I must do that. And I remember...
Hold on, you can't just say that one more time, bro.
You got Nehemiah building a wall, right? Yes. And it's not, hey, somebody should build that wall. He's like, all right, send me. Let's go. Yeah. I'm not a wall builder. Yeah, I don't have any qualifications, but I know a king who might be able to set me up. Woo! And let's go. And I'll risk my head to do it.
That's good.
So here we go. So that was a big part of that. But I remember just taking, a lot of times it's where the things that light you up and light other people up, when those things match, that creates something beautiful. And I remember, around 21-ish, it was during the middle of us working together, figuring out what is that mission statement for me, and what can I pinpoint my life on, and not just like one or two decisions in my life, because what's built overnight will come down overnight, right? Sure. We've always said that. You don't want to, the worst thing that can happen is quick, immediate success. For sure. And you make it big and you blow up and you've got one single.
Absolutely.
Now what? Yeah, you just like keep it going, like just keep, and you have no life experience, you've never been through anything hard, you've never had to like work through difficult things and process like that would be the worst thing ever. Terrible. Right? Yeah. So we always talked about that. But also it's a painstaking long journey. But when it comes to kind of that mission statement, it was taking what's a skill of mine. And I took this dumb test in college called Strengths Finders. Yes, I still have mine. I thought it was so dumb, but it was so helpful. Man. And one of my top strengths was maximizer. It was taking something good and making it great. That's I was like, of this test, I don't know if a lot of this stuff fits me. I'm not, don't put me in a box. Right? I'm too punk rock for that. Yeah. But I was like, dang, I think that is me. I think I'm not good. I don't want to create something new, but I think I can come alongside and make something even better that's already good. And so it's maximizing the value of people. So I don't believe people just have potential. I want to show them the value that they already have. Yeah. And so whoever I work with, it's calling out those things in their life that I'm like, man, you got a gift in this. And the gift may be as simple as like your attitude is going to take you a long way. Like maybe it's just the way that you see people and like you don't use them, you see them, and it's not about them thinking you're cool. You immediately disarm them and let them know that they're cool. I'm like, that's a gift, right? Because we all walk around being too cool for school, and there's people out there that just like bring everybody together and illuminate a room, which I thought you had that ability. And so
that's funny you say that.
You were a cool guy. At the same time, everyone that met you walked away being like, I think we're friends. Like that's what was. So all my friends who came from such a completely different background, they're like, dude, we love JJ because, and they met you once, right? And they're just like, but he's the coolest dude, and like I think like he'd hang out with me, you know. And you just have that ability.
That is so crazy because that was something I had to embrace that, because where I come from, being friendly is a weakness. So being friendly and being like cordial and smiling and waving is like, that's a sign of weakness, right? But then I got out of my bubble where I'm from, and you come to learn, like, you start dealing with different people. When I went to Jacksonville College, small country, smaller than Springfield, and I'm dealing with people of different races who come from different backgrounds. So I'm like, oh my God, this person's hilarious. They're genuine, they're awesome. Yeah. And you start... And which came because of our faith. That was the bridge builder is, hey, we are all disciples of Jesus here. And being able to, I was like, oh my God, I really like love people for real. Like I can't stand people, but I love people.
They're the best part and the worst part.
The best thing and the worst thing. And I'm like, man, I love people, and I love making people feel great when they come around. If we can have an encounter and find a common ground, bro, because like we are way more similar than we are different. Like straight up, bro. So whether it's what we watch, a movie we liked, a song we liked, like, and it broadens your horizons to where it's like, my wife always mentions like, everybody love you. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I just try to, guy. You know what I'm saying? I just try to find a common place.
That's the it factor though. Like even at your shows, that's what I noticed that very first time. You disarm an audience. And it's no longer like about being cool. It's like, let's have an experience together. Yeah. And everybody walked out of there being like, that was a good time. And they're like, I can't even put my finger on why, right? It was it was just this, like, we had a shared collective, unique experience together. And that's how I felt like every show went. You walk away being like, that show was different. Yeah. And I walk away being like, that show was different than the You and I show, than the show in the Modern Society Garage, than the show at the Square, than the show at the festival, than the show, the Boogie Down Basement, the show at the Lemon Drop, the show you're talking all these different, everyone was different because the way you just pulled everybody in, and it felt like you just made everyone a part of an experience that was bigger than them.
Yeah, that's powerful, bro. So did you, as you occupy this space as campus pastor, executive pastor, of what many would consider a mega church, in most places it would be a mega church, right? Like, I know that was something you were like, I'm not going to be a pastor. But here you are. Like, obviously you didn't see yourself here, and what was the wrestle like accepting, hey, I think this is what God has for me? Because a lot of times what we want and what God wants is two different things. Mm-hmm. Even if you know the gift that you have, like you can still like, I want this, but God want me to do this with the gift. Like what was that process like of accepting, like, okay, this is what God wants for me? Yeah,
which I think that mission statement was very helpful in deciding that of, can I, when you take a step up in an organization, in a nonprofit, in your work, in, a relationship or whatever, does this help me achieve my mission better, right? Absolutely. So does this help me maximize the value of people in a more unique way? I never wanted to be a public speaker. I never want to work in a megachurch, dude. That's just like the grossest thing ever. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're a church that's so big that we don't even know your name. I'm like, dude, so bringing that punk rock mentality to what I'm doing too, of just like, we're never too big to know your name, to know your story. That's good. And that's important, and that matters. And we're never too important. I'm never too busy, right? And there can be faults that come with that side of things as well. Right. But I do remember a lot of the things that I thought was a curse turned into a blessing. And the curse of, I'm a very fear-driven person. So when it comes to my finances, I'm very fear-driven. Even though I got more money in the bank than ever before, I'm just as worried I'm going to lose it tomorrow. Yeah. Right? The flagpole just keeps moving. Right. I'm very fear-driven when it comes to my gifts and my abilities. And I wouldn't even call them gifts. I just call them like things I do, right? But that there's something there that you're like, I need to work harder than everybody else at this because I don't know if I'm special at it, but one day I want to be amazing at this, but I don't even know when that's going to be, and I don't even know how to get there, but I'm just going to work hard. And so on this journey of just saying yes and yes and yes to whatever was next, it really was filtering it through that lens, and it was also saying...
Through the lens of the mission?
Okay. And then also saying this insecurity that I have of being fearful and scared... God uses that, right?
Yeah, that's I was going to say that is such a biblical thing.
In your weakness, he's made strong. Yeah. And so you just give him the dude, I'm so scared. And here's what was helpful is that every next position I took, I felt over my head. And you know what? I was like, God, I can't do this on my own. I felt that way when we were working together. I'm like, God, I don't know how to be a manager. I'm like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this looks like, but I know I want to do something special. And God, can you use me? Can we do something? And not to make it overly spiritual, but there was a spiritual component. I believe everything's spiritual, right? Sure. There was a spiritual component to your music. There's a spiritual component to our relationship. There's a spiritual component to the way we're communicating to a crowd. And so bringing that in of this is an insecurity of mine. Mm-hmm. This is my fear. And God, can you use that? And that fear has led me to work harder than other people. That fear has led me to be more disciplined. That fear has led me to, and not out of maybe an unhealthy way, and it can be, because the opposite of unhealthy is still unhealthy, right? If I'm super fear driven or, the opposite.
Delusional.
Exactly. Neither one is good.
Delusional ambition.
It's got to be a balance, right? Yeah. And so you bring that to whatever you're doing, and God uses that. And I think that fear component has helped me a lot in life. And now I've fear is not something to eliminate; it's something to lean into and acknowledge. And God uses that.
Yeah. So a question with your mission statement, with my mission statement, when I got it, the new refined version of it, I took it right to my family and was like, hey, this isn't just mine, this is ours. Is that what you do with your mission statement? Is this hey, this is what we're gonna represent as a family for the body, for people that we encounter? Or is that you know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
I think I've got different. One, I'm always a proponent for you coming up with an individual one, but I do love having a collective one as well. Yeah. So as a church, we've got a collective mission statement that is something that we anchor everything to. As a family, we've got values that we anchor everything to. And so it's funny, even growing up, and I hated this, my dad at the dinner table would always say, Martzes are leaders. I don't know why. That was just his thing. He's like, Martzes are leaders. Martzes are leaders.
Powerful.
And it's funny because I never wanted to be a leader. I'm like, no, that's uncomfortable.
That is so
I don't want to be that. That's too much pressure. And it is funny because and I fought that for a long time, and I think that was good as well to fight it. But to fight it in such a way where it's like, hey, I'm just a lead follower. So that's what I am. And, I'm following God and whatever he's got for me. And so,
not a lead follower,
lead follower,
a servant leader.
Here we go.
There we go. And that's like, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of just knowing you. And it's like, no, you downplay everything. But that's the reason why people want to come alongside you and people want to follow you, because of that spirit of humility you have and spirit of service that you have. And it's something that we all, that level of humility, we all should aspire to. I know I do. When I watch you, when I see everything that is played out in your life from meeting you in 2012 to where you are now, I'm so inspired as I look at your life. And I think it's crucial, specifically for men, especially in the climate that we're living in now, to have somebody close in community that you can be inspired by. More than ever, men are living isolated lives. Even with having a wife, having kids, the suicide rates are skyrocketing amongst men. And so I think it's really crucial, for them to take time to define what their mission is, to assess their gifts, and then also to have brothers that you can call, be challenged by, and be inspired by. And so I just want to say how much I appreciate you for that. Because I'm so inspired by you. And it's I don't even know how if you called me or I called you a couple months ago, but we hadn't talked in a minute. Yeah. It was a while.
Yeah.
And it was the thing I needed most. Seriously, in the season I was going through with these extreme highs and then these really low lows. And I just needed a voice, a trusted voice who would speak life into me, listen, understand you. And you ask great questions. And so, having a friend like that is it's the value of it is it's priceless, bro.
Man, and I would say the same thing. And that's the tough part is life, people, situations, they change. And there's two things we hate, right? We hate the way things are and we hate change. Yep. But we know that things are going to look different in 5 years. Absolutely. And the things that, helped us cope in one season, they cap us in the next. And so whatever is going to come next, we have to let go of something to take hold of something new. Yeah. And when anytime changes come, right, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Yeah, and the thing that I've seen from you over and over and over again is you get hit with these life things.
I don't know if I get hit with them or I participate. And you know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. That's been our whole existence. Is you roll with the punches. Yeah. And it is we're playing an infinite game here. We're here to build a legacy, not build something overnight. And so what you do is the way that you've continually taken situation after situation after situation and say not just how do I hold tight, how do I get through, but you said how do I grow through this? Yeah, that's been really inspiring to watch as well. Yeah. And so from my end, I feel the exact same way. Our phone conversations are everything I need. I walk out with 4 messages after that. I'm like, man, I know. I know this is what I needed, so I bet it's what other people need too. And it's always so encouraging. Yeah.
So before we get out of here, I know you're an avid reader. We're both avid readers. Give me the 3 most impactful books outside of the Bible. I don't want you to, outside of the Bible that have shaped who you are in your perspective. 3 books. Y'all know it's a good one. Because you read a lot.
Well, audiobook, listen a lot.
Okay.
I do read. One that I've been reading recently that I do think is so important if you're a leader, if you're a coach, if you're a mentor of anyone that's around, is something called The Coaching Habit. And The Coaching Habit ultimately gives you 7 questions to basically be able to ask open-ended questions, to not just snorkel with people, but to scuba dive. So not just like stay on the surface level, but how do you go deeper with people? There's people in your life that you invite over your house. There's people you work with. There's probably people you mentor that you're like, how do I get past all the surface level stuff, go deep, and hit the things that matter? The coaching habit is one of those that is very, very helpful because it just gives you some of those questions. Because that's the thing. Life is all about the wisest people I know, they don't give the most advice. They ask the best questions.
Yeah.
Jesus!
Ask questions.
Like 307 questions. A lot of times he'd answer a question
with a question. You're right. I'm dropping some balls.
So I'm like one of the keys to just being kind of what that it factor that you got is ask really good questions. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you learn a lot about people and you become someone worth following when you take all that stuff in and you do that. I will say this, John Maxwell. Anything from John Maxwell is unbelievable. But Developing the Leader in You 2.0 is fantastic. I have every young leader read that book because it really just gives some keys to being a great leader, to being a player, not a pretender, right? It's how you be a player. And when you not that way, but you got like when you were younger, here's what you have to do: hard things, and there's no shortcuts. Yeah. And you can't be like, what's the quick way to skip over that? And yes, you can learn from other people's mistakes, but nothing helps you learn better than just paying the dummy tax on something. And the reason we are at where we're at is because we pay the dummy tax a lot, man.
I probably paid too much on
the dummy tax. We wasted a lot of money on things. We've wasted a lot of time on things. We've wasted a lot of opportunity at the same time. All those have made us who we are. And developing that leader within you is just a skill and a trait that you absolutely need. And then my last one, if I had and there's so many to choose from. You have me read The Alchemist, and I love that book. I love that book. Right okay, that book is phenomenal. I would probably have to go. This is another. If you want to be a good communicator, a good speaker, which all of us want to be a great storyteller. For sure. Probably, right? Sure. We want to be able to craft our words in such a way that it paints the clearest picture of what we're trying to say and has the maximum impact. And people walk out being able to repeat what we said. Yeah, that's good. So one of those is Communication for a Change by Andy Stanley. The great Andy Stanley. Hey, Communication for a Change is one of those. It just helps you craft any type of story, any type of message, whether it's crafting a song. But it shows, it talks about how to build tension. It talks about how to relate. It talks about how to pass off something. It talks about how to create something that's memorable. All these things that you do in any art form, art piece. You probably do it in your job. Mm-hmm. You do it in an email. You do it in a TikTok video. You do it in how do you relate everything is quickly? Storytelling. In a clear way. And so those are 3 books that I read over the course of time that I think have helped me, but there's so many. We can go. There's so many in different seasons that shape you. And that's one of the keys is, the only way to continue to evolve and grow is to learn from people outside of yourself that probably have different views than you. Bro. And so, getting books that you've read has been so helpful. Getting books that people I look up to have read. People that I disagree with. Yeah. What books do they read? Because then that helps me shape my narrative and not just a tunnel vision, this is the way it's got to go. It helps me see a broader picture. Mm-hmm. And it's not just me now, it's we, right? Yeah. And that helps you become a person, just a good person in general, right? And an understanding person, an accepting person, a loving person, right?
Which makes you a great pastor.
Ultimately, I'm like, Jesus was one of the most accepting, inclusive, loving people that have ever walked the earth. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, no one's ever confused me as Jesus' twin. Although one day, I hope that's the goal. But I'm like, that's who we aspire to be like. And even if you're not religious, you'd be like, I think that Jesus guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, seriously.
So I think that the church gets it wrong a lot. I think Christians get it wrong a lot. I think just people in humanity in general gets it wrong a lot. But man, what a dude to aspire to be like.
Seriously, no matter what you believe. Absolutely, bro. I love you so much. Thank you for this. This is phenomenal. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, all the stuff. Joseph Live, we'll be back for more. Love y'all.
Let's get to it. I say a prayer and I get to it. If it's a problem, we get to it. Never know how we get to it. I took an L, had to get to it. I overcame what I've been through. If it's a problem, we get to it. Never know how we get to it. Let's get to it.